Howdy, 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 my beautiful Scorpio. How you doing, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today, honey, I'm going to be getting into a you versus them tarot reading. See how it is they're feeling and thinking. See how it is where you are at, Scorpio. Keep in mind that I am just a man reading some tarot cards too. Tarot can never encapsulate all the situations or all the nuances of a relationship. You know how this will work out for you guys better than I would, possibly, because you know what it is you can emotionally stand by and what you can't handle, right? I'm always going to be that bestie that's just going to ride or die with you, regardless of whatever choices you make. I'm always here to support you, Scorpio. If you do enjoy this tarot reading today, Scorpio, as well, or you just enjoy my vibe, darling, for today, Scorpio, I would appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribe, because it does help me out a lot, and I always appreciate it when you do take that extra step to support me as well, Scorpio. But also, if you want to book a private personal reading with me, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com. This reading is going to be skewed more so towards something more of a romantic side, but at the same time, this could be pertaining to your twin flame, soulmate, someone at work, someone in your family, darling Scorpio. You know your situation better. It's up to you to put on the labels, because I am just that man reading tarot cards to you. These readings are just here to give you some food for thought, perspective to consider, never making choices in your life. I also do your weekly general tarot reading every single Thursday, Scorpio, so be sure to check those messages out as well, because that could add some further clarity. If you want to check out your sun, moon, and rising as well, Scorpio, be sure to do that as well. So let's get into this reading. Let's see how you are feeling about this situation, how they're feeling about this situation, Scorpio. Let's just jump right into this, darling. So right now, Scorpio, you consistently have been getting the Justice card recently. The Libra card, darling, during Libra season of when I'm doing this reading, Scorpio. So you are at this place of, it feels like you're wanting to I just heard treat me right. Treat me right. I don't know if the situation with this person is they're not respecting you, Scorpio, that they're not appreciating you. Even with the imagery of this artwork here, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that you look like this individual in the cage, darling, but Scorpio, it does feel as if you feel a little bit trapped, Scorpio. I do get this sense as well. I know in your last week's general reading, last week of me doing this, during this, Scorpio, I'll leave a link to it somewhere around here in the top right hand corner, where it was like this realization that I felt like you guys were developing, Scorpio, realizing that this person didn't really like you for you. They just liked how they could try and change you, or like what it is that you could provide to them. Like the more you continued, the more that you started tapping into your more authentic self, the more resistance you got from this person. So I don't know if we're still tapping into this or what. Let's see where they are at when it comes to this connection as well, Scorpio. Eight of Wands. So they are in this place of I keep hearing controlling, Scorpio. I feel as if they're like wanting to have better control of this situation, wanting to have better control of you, darling. I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic to be having here. Eight of Wands, it could be very flighty energy as well. If they're not talking to you at this current point in time, I wouldn't be surprised, Scorpio, if you anticipate communication from them relatively soon as well. So let's see, what's the dynamic like between y'all two, Scorpio? Judgment card. So there is some type of action that's going to be happening here soon when it comes to this connection, Scorpio. Again, I do get this sense here, Scorpio. Maybe you guys recently got into a fight. It don't have to be a fight, but it just feels like there's been some more silence than normal, Scorpio, when it comes to this connection. And so, it feels almost as if like there's like this tenseness that's like building up. If y'all have watched Paranormal Activity, when something's about to happen, there's like this something that starts, like there's like this ringing or like this tenseness in the atmosphere that happens right beforehand. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. So very interesting. And so now, Scorpio, let's get into the energy of what direction needs to be going in. Two of Swords. So when it comes to this is there is this sense of needing to trust, right? You look at this card, you look at this artwork rather, and you see how like they're embracing, they're kissing, darling, but then you see it's just like, what is this, baby girl? Why are you holding this knife, darling, right? It's the signal of distrust. It's the signal of like you want to give energy to this connection, but at the same time you're just like, there's like this sense of aggressiveness as well. There's this sense of being like again, it's just like, because the Ace of Pentacles just fell out, but I don't like to take fallouts when it comes to these types of readings, Scorpio. Maybe it's like this sense of being like, do you like me for me, or do you like what it is I can provide for you? What it is that I do provide for you, Scorpio, is something that I feel like you're analyzing when it comes to this connection. So, very interesting energies here. I'm going to dive into their side a little bit deeper here first with that Eight of Wands, because I do want more clarity on that. Six of Cups here with, oh yeah, Scorpio. It's giving me very much so this vibe of where it's like they're very much so reminiscing on how you used to be with them, Scorpio. And I know this is kind of like more of a dramatic narrative, a drama narrative, and I normally don't get into these, but it's like giving me this vibe, Scorpio, where it's like they're reminiscing about how they used to be able to just have you wrapped around their finger better, or just reminiscing about how, I don't know. It just feels as if they're reflecting back on when they had more power over you, or at least that's how they perceive it as. Scorpio, keep in mind, don't be trying to shoot this messenger, darling. I'm just relaying like the perspective that I see with these tarot cards. I'm not saying that that's actually the reality of like from your point of view, darling. Girl, the Fool card came flying out that I couldn't even hold, darling. So it's like this desire of being like, yeah, I kind of wish it's like they're being resentful right now, Scorpio. And it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense just from like a manipulative, potentially narcissistic aspect of this, but it's just like they're reminiscing just about how things used to be, Scorpio. They don't like this new version of yourself that you're developing, Scorpio, because I do feel as if you guys just recently, and maybe it doesn't have to be recently that all these changes occurred, but it's like recently, it's of recent time, Scorpio, that like you finally had like your wake up call and being like, you know, like fully unapologetic owning your new authentic self, the self that you've been really working on for some time now. I heard shadow work, so you guys definitely have been doing you guys have just been doing a lot of self-work, and with that self-work, Scorpio, naturally you're just going to have a little bit better sense of self, feeling a lot more empowered, and I just don't get this vibe that this person likes how that is now. Again, it feels like they just wish they could go back to controlling you. Four of Wands. It's like this weird, Scorpio, I don't even know if they realize this as well, where it's just like they like you, like, how do I want to word this? It's like they really want to have this future with you, Scorpio, but at the same time, it's like it has to be on their terms. It has to be on their terms. It has to be from their perspective. And otherwise, it's just not, like, it's almost as if they'll start projecting and making feel as if like you're doing something wrong, or that there's something wrong with you. And they probably would even be like, oh, like you changed. Like, why aren't you like da 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 da? You know, it's like, I do see, like, it's like this weird mixed energy where it's just like, on one hand, like they want to go to this future with you, but it's like, again, it's just giving me this sense of where it's like they only want this future with you, Scorpio, if they could go back to where you were more malleable in their eyes, where they could control you more. And I just don't think that's the reality, Scorpio. I don't feel as if that's a place that you plan on going back to. So let's get some more cards on your side. The World card coming in here, darling. A lot of major arcana with the Seven of Cups. So you're left with choices, Scorpio, because I feel as if you can even sense this as well. It's like on some level it's giving me like this sense, Scorpio, where it's just like some of you guys, you might have this habit of like falling for people or just caring for people a lot, Scorpio, that, you know, they may have good intentions, they may like deep down have just like be a very good person, but you know, throughout life or whatever, they just, you know, they developed in the sense of being very, I don't know, I just get very manipulative and just very like, they may just be like, I feel as if this person is very much so a product of their environment, a product of their trauma. And I don't think that's an excuse, Scorpio. It's like we all have trauma in our lives, darling. And what's up? That's what comes with the territory of living this life, darling, is just dealing with some trauma. So it's like, it's just giving me this sense, Scorpio, where it's like, you can see how this person deep down is. And I feel as if that's the reason why you've been with this connection for so long, why you've been so patient with this. But at the same time, I mean, I have to put my own bias, my own perspective in this. I try very hard to just disconnect my own personal opinion, Scorpio. But it's just like, it's like, suck it up, darling. It's like, suck it up. Like, if everyone just became a product of their own trauma, of their own environment, this world would just be filled with a lot more crappy people. These are excuses. This gives me very much so that vibe. Anyone that's a person of color, darling, will instantly understand what I'm trying to get at with this, where it's just like, you know, I've dealt with so many racist people in my life. Just bear with me. It's going to be relevant in a moment. I've dealt with so many racist people in my life. I've dealt with so many people making racist comments, homophobic comments to me, darling. And I always will hear from people being like, oh, they're from from an older generation, and it's like, no, that's an excuse. That's like choosing to allow this person to be at the vibration that they're at, being a crappy person, because instead of holding them accountable to growing, I feel like you need to hold this person accountable. Stop giving this person the benefit of the doubt. You giving this person the benefit of the doubt doesn't make you a better person. At the end of the day, it could just make you look like a fool, darling, right? Because then it's back from their perspective, they just will have you wrapped around their finger again. Not saying you're a fool, just, have to put that out there. Nine of Wands. This is the card of standing strong in your convictions and your feelings. You do not need to change, Scorpio. You do not need to change. I feel as if you need to be told, Scorpio, that you are not the problem. They need to figure themselves out, Scorpio. And until they figure themselves out, I don't really see this really being all that fruitful for you, darling. So now, Scorpio, let's get best case scenario when it comes to this connection, when it comes to this relationship here. Let's see. We have the Four Swords. Obviously, there needs to be a lot of healing that needs to be done. And because it's based off of that judgment, that card of action, it means that there needs to be an honest conversation, Scorpio. It means is this, like, you need to talk about elephant in the room. You need to, like, be confrontational with this energy. Devil card. Yeah, you need to talk about the devil, right? You need to talk about the issues. You need to talk about, like, how it's just like, look, you can't control me anymore. If you don't like me for me, it's not the situation of where it's like, yeah, I just feel as if they just project onto you, Scorpio. And it bothers me. Page of Cups. So you do have the potential, Scorpio, with this connection to allow this to develop to something deeper, Scorpio. But at the same time, y'all need to talk about this devil in the room. Y'all need to talk about these issues, and you need to just stand your ground, Scorpio. Because I feel as if when if you do try to talk to them, they're going to just talk about like all these problems that you have, or just being like trying to put the fault at you when there's really like you're not at fault, Scorpio. You have done your own work. You've just become more self-assured. This person just needs a reality check and just being like, hey, like if you truly want me, you should be accepting me for who I am now. I shouldn't be having to change. I shouldn't be having to backtrack just so they are more comfortable with you. Does that make sense? It's giving me very much so they want you to dim your light, Scorpio, so they're more comfortable with being around you again. So now, Scorpio, let's get some advice from your spirit guides and ancestors. This is where I always say to brace for impact, darling, because this is where the no filter really comes in, darling, because your spirit guides and your ancestors are never going to hold back, darling, on their thoughts and feelings. So let's see here, Scorpio. We have here the Hanged Man with the Seven of Wands, as well as the Eight of Pentacles coming in here. So a change of perspective needs to happen, but also, again, action. So similar to the Judgment card in that way. Action based off of like a different perspective, Scorpio. Seven of Wands here, it does feel as if it's going to be a random message, but I feel as if this connection, Scorpio, has been directly responsible for like you becoming isolated towards old connections in your past, or like you becoming more isolated where it's just like your world was only just about them. Again, like I don't usually like to throw around the word narcissist, Scorpio, because I feel like it's a very overused word, and if everyone's just diagnosing everyone as a narcissist, then it's just like, girl, it's like this is really not the case. But this gives me just very much so narcissist energy, of where it's just like you continuing to pursue this connection really just isolates you from any other connection. I don't know if this is directly responsible for it. Maybe this is just like your own habit, but I feel as if you need to be very aware that you can't continue on with this connection, Scorpio, where it's just like they are just like your entire world. You do need to have other perspectives. You do need to be able to have friends, darling, because again, like, I don't know. I just get such a controlling energy here, Scorpio. And I don't know. I'm really trying hard not to put my own opinion on this. Four of Cups here. Yeah, I feel as if this person has been like, your spirit guides are really being directly very confrontational, being like, hey, this person has messed up a lot of connections in your life. You probably had some really good connections in your life that could have developed be something deeper, but this person probably villainized those connections, or whatever, what have you. But just be very aware of the fact, Scorpio, where it's just like that may be part of the, I'm not going to get into it, Scorpio, because you'll know, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel as if you choose to connect with this energy further, you need to make it a point so that there's more connections in your life than just this person, because I feel like you need to just experience further what it's like to just be around normal people who are not always trying to change you, always trying to control you. You need to have other people involved in your life that just add this reassurance where it's just like, yeah, you've done this work and there's nothing wrong with you, right? Because you have all these other people that enjoy connecting with this new version of yourself, Scorpio. So just be aware of that. I want to do some oracle cards now, Scorpio. We're gonna be doing a animal oracle card as well as the moon oracle card before I close off this reading, Scorpio. Let's see what insight the oracle cards have to say, darling Scorpio. I hope this message is all right, darling. Should I post this or not? I feel like I was very confrontational in this, Scorpio. Maybe I shouldn't post this, but we have the full moon in Sagittarius, looking at the bigger picture on things. I like this a lot. You know, again, it's kind of similar to the Hanged Man energy, taking yourself out of this perspective and seeing the bigger picture, realizing that this person isn't like your whole world. And then the Falcon card. Act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. So this is essentially without getting in your head. Very much so that Nine of Wands energy, Scorpio. So yeah, overall, Scorpio, you know what you need to be doing, darling. Don't allow this energy to change you, darling. Where it is that you've been going, the self-work that you've been doing, it's not for null. It's not as if you are doing something bad. This person just needs to get with the picture. You don't need to dim your light to make this person more comfortable with you. Whew. Girl, I don't know if I'm going to post this or not just because of how aggressive I was probably at with this. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out, darling, but I'm going to close this off, Scorpio. Hopefully you found some cards that resonated. Be sure to check out my general weekly readings where I'm not nearly as aggressive, darling. Every single Thursday. If you want to book a private personal reading with me, Scorpio, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com. Be sure to check out my social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that being SimplyVelca, and I'll connect with you hopefully sometime in the near future. Bye, Scorpio.